So Neversong is a great feeling Metroidvania which mixes fun gameplay, fantastic music and a gorgeous art style with a pinch of darkness in the storytelling. It's heartfelt, touching and sometimes sad, but it's also a memorable gaming experience that you should definitely give some of your time to. Neversong is about a small boy called Pete, and he's trying to find his girlfriend Ren, who's been stolen away by a mysterious figure. So Pete and Ren were exploring an old asylum when Ren got kidnapped, and Pete fell into a coma. When he woke up, the world had changed. So the adults went looking for Ren, and when they didn't come back, the kids took over. There's a fairy tale style to the game, and this is underlined with the way the narrative is delivered through a literal storybook opening and the rhymes of the narrator. The game takes you across various locations underground and overground on the hunt for Ren, so the game mixes fun gameplay and the narrative very well, keeping you moving through the world and always meeting interesting characters. So one of my favourites was Preston, his love for science and research, but there's many lovable characters in the game throughout Neversong. The game deals with hard-hitting story beats and doesn't shy away from real-life issues. Although the narrative tackles these issues straight on, not pulling any punches, Pete and the array of characters in the games lighten things up, keeping the game moving with humour, excellent animation and uplifting music. But there's definitely a dark undertone here in the game which reminded me of something like A Nightmare Before Christmas. Neversong is a mixture of platforming and a Metroidvania-like mechanics, so you can collect weapons and items and progress, including a trusty bat, which comes in handy with dealing with the nasties that roam around the environments, and as you make your way through the levels and unlock new abilities, for example, you've got the magnetic boots that allow you to get to new areas in the game. However, unlike other Metroidvania games, there's no map for reference, but that may be because it's a fairly small game and hard to get disorientated. You don't really need a map as everywhere is very accessible and easy to get to. Along for the ride is your companion Bird, a small creature who acts as your navigator, giving you story elements and collecting items for you when they're out of reach. There's a bunch of collectibles in the game like outfits and songs, so you can collect cards in the game from characters that you meet and emulate their style, which is a really nice addition to the game. There's also songs to collect which allow you to unlock new items, so back in Ren's house there's a piano, you have to go out and collect the songs and head back to the piano and see what they unlock. Once you get into a new zone, there's normally a puzzle section to unlock followed by a boss battle. So these puzzle sections aren't going to take you too long to figure out, but I found them imaginative and interesting. For example, you have to head down a well in the first area and you learn about Mrs. Richardson. The adults have left town and been turned into monsters, and Mrs. Richardson is now a big worm that lives underground and is particularly sensitive to certain smells. It's your job then to navigate the underground and solve the puzzles to collect the scents to wake up Mrs. Richardson and then engage in a boss battle. And I found the boss battle was pretty good fun, albeit not very difficult to get through. So I really appreciated the art style of the game. The characters almost look like they're made of paper. They sit on beautiful backgrounds which are detailed and hide secrets. So Pete's movement in the game is really nice too. He always looks like he's having fun, almost skipping around the screen. And one theme of Serenity Forge's games is I always enjoy the movement, and you should check out King's Bird if you want a perfect demonstration of that. Neversong is no different, and it feels great to move around and the controls are really nice and responsive. The music in the game is juxtaposed to the slightly dark storytelling with upbeat music as you wander around towns, underground and meeting new characters. Whereas the narrative can sway into darker territories, the music keeps the game upbeat, light and breezy, and I particularly enjoyed the boss battle music, which brought an extra level of tension to those moments. I enjoyed the voice acting in the game also, and it added an emotional weight into the game and gave the characters much more life. So I remember playing an early build of this game when it was known as Once Upon a Coma, and in the final product Neversong is so much better than that early build, and the voice acting combined with the music definitely adds to that. So overall, Neversong is a fun experience with some touching story beats, and if you're a fan of the Metroidvania genre then you should definitely give it a go. It's not too hard and the game itself isn't too long, but I enjoyed the time I spent with it. So the game comes from Serenity Forge and Atmos Games. It's available on PC, Apple Arcade and Nintendo Switch, and it was originally released on the 20th of May 2020 on Steam and the 16th of July on Nintendo Switch. So I would definitely recommend going out and checking out Neversong. Well, thanks so much for watching, and for more content like this, subscribe and share with a friend. To join our community, check out the Discord link in the description, and you can follow me on Twitter at TWIFEG Podcast. If you enjoyed this video or found it useful, liking and sharing the video would really help me out. Otherwise, check out these other videos on the channel. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.